Well, we're heading out to see a garden railroad.
Oh, neat.
And fall, I think, is the best time to visit garden railroads. Because in the spring, well, they're not open yet. In the summer, it's really, really hot. But by fall, everything's all dialed in and the weather is spectacular and the colors are great. So this is the Garden Railroad of Dean and Anne Wiese. It's right near an Air Force Base.
Oh boy.
Hill Air Force Base. But what a beautiful railroad. Isn't that neat?
That is really cool.
I love this type of garden railroad. It's elevated so that you can get the trains on and off the track easily, and yet it's still a ground level railroad with all of the amenities, if you will, of having your trains running right on the ground with all the vegetation and ballast and scenery and everything right there, as though it's at ground level, when in fact the whole thing's about 3 feet up off the ground. I love all the structures here. A lot of them are Pola that were made in conjunction with LGB. Some of them are the old Aristocraft REA models, but they're all weatherproof, and that's key. They said they just leave them out year round, right?
Mm-hmm. I really like their street lights, the fixtures and everything.
I love that. They're just lamps on power poles, but doesn't that look great?
Oh, I love it.
So I was very curious exactly what system they're using for running the trains. They run really well. They all have sound systems. And he seems to have a handheld wireless remote for running them. So I had to ask just specifically, what in the heck is this? How are you operating these trains?
Rail Pro ring, and you're able to run 9 locomotives off of one of these. Right now I got them completely separate, but I can run locomotives that I have in the yard. I can turn them on and just let them smoke and idle and whatever, just like they're being prepped to run their turn on the railroad. And or you can have 2 or 3 of them going at the same time. These have what they call a load controller on them. So once you've load controlled an engine, even though it isn't linked to one train, they could be, you can say you've got them linked, but all that means is they're linked to the same speed according to the load that each engine has. So if I wanted to run 2 engines on one rail and keep them the same distance apart, I could link the engines, run them as 2 separate chains, and then the one speed, no matter how they're loaded up, they'll keep it the same distance. So, and you can run them, you can actually set an engine in linked, so you can have, major long trains. You know, have 2 or 3 engines pulling and link them all together, and I've had as many as 25 cars on this little grade, and that's about a 1.5% going up that way. The other one on the inside rail is more flat, but that outside rail has got about 1.5% going up by that church and that way.
Good. So is it
It's a nice system.
power through the track?
No, these
So-
are all battery powered.
all
Each
powered.
engine has its own code. And I can control the lights, I can control the bells and whistles, I can control the engine sound. If they have a smoker, I can turn on and off the smoking unit, whatever it is. These are similarly programmed, but see this one, the White Pass, I have some colored lights on it. So I was able to actually make an icon on the remote for the colored lights to turn them on and off. I can actually turn individual lights on the engine, so what they call the track lights, or the lights that focus on the track, go on, or the colored lights that are the light. What's going on? Okay.
I love the little air balloons on there, the hot air balloons.
That's really neat.
They are awesome. She said she likes hot air balloons, and so she figured out a way to put them on the railroad.
Well, that's really clever. I don't think I've ever seen that on any other railroad.
No, but it gives me some ideas.
No kidding. I love the mountain up here with the forest.
Isn't that amazing?
All these Alberta spruces, I think she said there's like 60 of them?
Something like that.
And a couple of different streams that run through here, and then the train station back
That
there.
impressed me, my goodness.
Trestle Falls Depot.
That was the first thing I built. We had that old train station down there, and so we decided whenever we had a place big enough, we'd make a train station. And so that was the model that we just took and started with that, built the ball work up, and then brought all this dirt in about 5 years ago.
Wow.
So about 110 yards of dirt and rock.
So do you store the trains inside the little
Trains
depot?
are all inside, half of the trains that we own are inside there.
Okay.
The other half's in the garage. So these are the ones that we actively use all the time.
Okay. And Anne, I think, is as much a train fanatic as he is.
Oh, right. I think that's what brought them together.
And they work on this together. This is their railroad for
Right,
sure.
right.
And they run it together.
Right.
He operates and she does the switching duties and those kinds of things. But it's definitely a partnership.
Right. Something they've done their whole life.
And check out the forest again, the mountain up there. That is principally her creation.
Right. But just what amazes me is the fact those trees are all living trees.
Yes, and she takes very good care of them. She said she has to take them out of the layout twice a year and trim them and take care of them. It's quite a process. I love the travel trailer.
Isn't that neat?
Oh, this whole forest up here, I think, was my favorite part of the whole railroad. Although it's difficult to say what is the favorite part on such a neat railroad.
I'm the
bonsai.
I do the bonsai. I do all the trimming and have to trim those Alberta spruce twice a year. Keep them small.
I've tried that,
We have
and all I do is
45
kill
of
them.
them.
You have 45 of them.
We do, yeah.
I couldn't keep one alive, so.
Oh no, they last pretty well. But I took some classes in Portland Rose Garden in the Japanese garden next to the Rose Garden in Portland
Nice.
to learn how to do the bonsai.
What in the world?
Well, they're still there.
Yeah. Every little detail.
And while we're on garden railroads, I want to get people caught up to what we've been doing on our garden railroad. Before the snow flies, I'm trying to get the last of this cement work done.
Right.
Making a mountain out of a molehill.
Oh boy.
Or in this case, actually making a mountain out of cement. So we're actually going to do a couple of different shows on this technique. First, I've been working on the technique, so I don't show people how to do something that doesn't actually work.
Oh, we don't want to do that.
So there's a good deal of experimentation that's going in here, but as soon as I feel comfortable with showing everybody how this works, then we're going to do several shows on how this process works. In the meantime, you've been working inside.
Right, on my grandpa's shoe shop.
Wow, it's just, I'm just totally blown away and amazed by this.
Yes, I just did a homage to my grandpa, who is a shoemaker for years.
And so there'll be shows on that as well.
Right.
In the meantime, we're going to be back here on the Wiese's Railroad again next week.
Right.
Because this is just too cool to cover in just one show. It's 2 shows for sure.
Right.
And while the weather holds, I think we should go visit some more garden railroads.
Right. There's a few more that's open and ready to seed before the weather turns off.
That is correct. And we've been talking to some people, so let's get out there and go visit more garden railroads.
Right.
So if you're not a subscriber to the channel, you want to be a subscriber so you can follow along with all of that. And the easy way to do that is with the blue button. Right there. Well, we're not sure how you found this video on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring, and we will see you here on Tuesday with something fun. Bye-bye.
Bye.